Dear friends, thank you once again for coming to this very program. The last time we talked about the dysfunctional family, and we saw a whole lot of things that we should do while we find ourselves in that family. It is not our mistake that we should be in that family, but I know that the Lord has heard you and He has done exceedingly abundantly in your life. Today we are going to have yet another topic, which is the adult is always right mentality in Christian homes. Is it an error worth overlooking? First, I pray that the Lord will be with you, and as we proceed, let's take our scripture text from Proverbs chapter 1 verse 20 and 21. And then we will read Proverbs 22 and verse 3. Proverbs 1, 20 and 21, it says, Wisdom cries without. Wisdom cries without. She uttered her voice in the street. Wisdom utters her voice in the street. She cried in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. That's Proverbs chapter 1, verse 20 and 21. And Proverbs chapter 22, verse 3 says, A prudent man, that's woman also, foresees the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Today, our topics, which speaks about adults, are they always right? Why is that mentality in a Christian setting? Is it an error worth overlooking? Certainly, I would say we cannot say it's an error, and we cannot say it is not an error. It is something that is due to happen. That's why the proverb says that wisdom was crying. Adults really aren't always right. The adults are not always right. I'm saying not always right. When I was growing up, I thought all adults were everything. In fact, my mom was the tallest woman. And my mom was the strongest because I grew up without a father because my father died earlier. I thought they were superhumans, but they have flaws. I was following my mom some time ago, that was then, and then a lady confronted her, started insulting her, and my mother also replied in a very way that is not good. I said, this is my beloved mother who never said any word like that, but I could see that she was very, very much annoying. Yes, adults have flaws. They make mistakes, like I have told you in the passing word. They have enemies. Yes, just as you, the young one, you have people you think are your enemy. Adults also have. They sometimes tell lies. They sometimes tell lies. Adults tell lies. And I don't want to allude into any particular setting, but some adults tell lies sometimes. So they are not always right. I mean, not everything that they do is perfect. The adult may have these flaws. But as we proceed, wisdom is calling in the street that let's listen, though the adult fall into this, should this syndrome be in a Christian family? But this is because they are sometimes flawed because we are human beings. But the way we feel or we see them is because they know that they've been in our situation or in your situation once before. And because they are in your situation once before, and most don't want you to have or to have you, their kid, their child, to repeat the same mistake as they did in the past when dealing with the same situation. You know, when my mom was 100 and she was with me, and she was still regarding me as her little child. So sometimes when I say certain things, she thinks that no, I was not right. So I thought, why should this woman say I was not right? And so she thinks that I have to protect my son, and overprotection sometimes make us feel, make them exhibit a dominant character in our homes and wherever we find ourselves. You just imagine, this is the thought of every family, and I took this from Oliver, the General Conference Family Ministry Director, his book, which is Hope for Today's Family. It said, consider the significance of raising a child who will not just be obedient, he will not just be obedient, but will grow to have a mature character and a healthy self-esteem. The child carries himself. So you see, the adult will always think that I want to train my child, I want to make sure my child is like this, I want to make sure my child is like this, and the person has a self-esteem. I continue. Manage their emotions. I want my child to, and have a healthy relationship with others. That is page 30 of Oliver's book. I want my child to grow up to become somebody that I could trust, somebody that I could rely on, somebody that will make me proud before God, somebody that I will hit my chest and say, that is my daughter, that is my son. That is most of the time. So adults don't just take no or yes for an answer. When you say no directly, they want you to explain. When you say yes, they want you to explain. Where are you coming from? I'm coming from the market. What did you do in the market when I sent you to school? You got to explain. And if the explanation is not there, the adult will think that you are wrong, and therefore you don't deserve all the necessary goodies in a home. So they think they are always right, but it is for our own good. Then again, adults have been through more than the young ones. We are not always going to be right in our lives. Nobody is going to be right always. Definitely you do certain things that are wrong in a family, wherever, in your society or in your group. They are there to help the young to learn more about life. They are there to help us to experience life in its fullness. Experience you might not yet have met. So the adults feel domineering because they want to lead the young ones to an experience they have not yet reached. And once they have not yet reached there, and then the adult is thinking that you have to do it like this, it is like you are forcing a milestone on a child to carry to cross a river. It looks as if the adult is becoming a very undoubting, or should I say the adult's ideas are becoming very undoubting things to clear. Now, because the adult believes their life experience can help others, which is sometimes true. Life is too complex to think you know everything. We learn something new every day. In my time, when you are going to the computer lab, in those days we have 3 computers in a whole big lab. The lecturer had to hold your finger to hold the mouse, and then ask you to touch the screen with your finger. After that, you pull your finger away. So that we felt that this thing is just like television. Why should our fingers be held to touch that thing? But it was our first time, so we are. But later on, we saw that even this pot-belly computer, today we can't use it for anything. So we learn new things every day. Learning proceeds every day, and the adults have much experience, and that is why it is always going on, the adult thing always that they are right. However, they being right, thinking that they are right, is for our own good. They have done a lot of things in their life, both good and bad. And therefore, they don't want you to do the same, should I use this word, the same stupid thing they did. So they don't want you to do it. And so you will see them being hard on the young one, which should not be, because learning takes through loving atmosphere. So since in the beginning, my opening sentence said the adults are not always right, but the reason why they become the rightful person, or the people who do the right, is that they want you to become somebody. They want to guide you along in life so you don't make mistakes that could have been prevented. So they might be rude or bossy, but actually they just want to help you. They want to help you. However, every adult who is listening to me right now, helping the home or the company or the society or the group does not mean that we should always prove that we are right. I remember we were given some mathematical question to solve. I was a student by then. And so my lecturer said the question, and it was examination time. I calculated everything, and it was not going through. So I went to the lecturer and told the lecturer that this exam question is wrong. And he said, "What? My questions are always right." And then when we finished the exams, I went to his room in his office. And I said, "You've left greater than." It's an equation. You've left greater than, and greater than. So because you've left greater than, fix the greater than. Then we can work the answer. Though we have worked it, so it will be better you give that question as a bonus. He sat down, he went through, and finally he agreed with me, and that question became a bonus for all of us. Sometimes the adult is not right, but he thinks that because he has so many experience, you need to follow. That does not mean that the adult hates anyone. Adults only try to help you make the right decision. Sometimes that can help you, as I said, continue life at the fullest. If adults tell you to do things that are not right, for example, go and steal, it is wrong. It shouldn't happen. But when they say that stealing is wrong, but you find pleasure in stealing, then the adult is right, and he will impose that idea on you until you come to terms with the teaching. A situation and their experience may sound completely dissimilar, and thus you gain a feeling that they think they know everything, but in reality, they know a little more than you. Actually, they know a little more than you and sees connections they wish to share, so you don't get hurt or go through difficult time periods that they have had. The adults have found a way of coming out, and they want you not to go through the same difficult situation they have come out. So my child, my daughter, my son will not go through that. So if they see the son going closely, the daughter going closely the same thing, then they become dictatorial. Being dictatorial is bad. By being dictatorial to take your son or your daughter or your family member out of trouble is worth it. Right. Let's look at some biblical exposition. In Proverbs 22, 6 and 7, the Bible says, train up a child. Okay? Train up a child the way he should go. She should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. The rich rulers over the poor. Is that true? Yes. The rich ruler in our world today, except in heaven, when no rich person will rule over the poor. The rich ruler over the poor, and the borrower is a servant to the lender. So if you borrow something from someone, you become a slave. So the adult will say that, no, don't go and borrow. Because you want to borrow, because you want to get this thing by all means, but you are going to fall into crisis, then they become so much dictatorial, which in actual sense should not be the case, because they can also err. A young Christian cannot have training by herself or himself. There is always someone who has to direct the young ones. And the more they direct, the more they feel that they have that dominant power over you, and they can lead you to attain a height. But in so doing, some, however, change the training to be a battlefield. This should not be it. It should not be overlooked. We need to juxtapose everything we do in our house. Compare it. Will this bring a trouble to my son or my daughter? Am I always being a dictatorial? One day we were at devotion. Normally our devotion, we do it with discussion. And my daughter was saying something, and I jumped into it. And I said, no, that is not it. When we closed, he came to me and said, Dad, anytime I am trying to ask a question that you don't agree with me, you throw me off. And I apologize. That my daughter, I'm sorry. Next time I will not do it. Though the question was not appropriate, I had to apologize. That is how it should be. The Christian home must accept everything that is being said, and then a correction or corrections are made. The more we, the adults, adjust to the situation of the young ones, they will not see us as dictators or as people who are always right. Therefore, we swallow our whatever contribution we have for the family. Let's see the last admonition Lemuel's mother gave to Lemuel. He said, what? My son. This is an advice. And what? The son of my womb. And what? The son of my vow. 3 times what? Give not thy strength unto a woman or women, nor thy ways to that which destroyed kings. So that is the Lemuel's mother is advising, my son, don't give your strength to women. He's not saying that don't play with men, but don't go and be following women and having affairs with women. That is an advice. Today, if you are in a certain situation like that, your mother and parents are advising you in that way, and you think they are dictatorial, no. But if the child is just walking and having a friendship, normal friendship, and the parents are thinking somehow and say, don't do it, then the parents too must change. Then it continues. It is not for kings, oh Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes strong drink, lest they drink and forget the law and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. So if you drink strong drink, you will pervert judgment. And then the 3 expressions, what, which is behold, makes this woman a hard woman in our sight. It is like, hey, boy or girl, listen to me, or else I am always right. You are always wrong, Lemuel. In reality, the woman is right. When you follow women and you become promiscuous, you may end up dying or losing your future. When you keep on drinking, you may become a vagabond. And therefore, the advice was appropriate. Joseph's brother did the same thing. And they ended up bowing down to Joseph because they didn't listen to their father and their younger brother. Friends, this very hour, I am praying that like Lemuel's father or mother advising Lemuel, sometimes it is harsh. But I know that most parents want the good of his children. And therefore, in these families, they may think, or you may think that they are domineering. You may think that they think they are always right. You may think that, why is it like this? But you also have a way of approaching the situation so that you can come to a consensus like my daughter. She came to me approachingly, and I loved that moment. And it was good. And we all came together and understood her. Today, as you listen to me, go and sit down in your room And then make sure you ponder over this. Is my adult father, mother always right? No. Is what he's doing leading me to Christ? If it is yes, continue. If it is no, find a way of talking it over, and God will bless you. And the more God blesses you, the more you become great. And the more you are great, the more we are all great. I pray that the Lord will bless you and live with you continually, so that you'll be able to unite with the adults in the home, and the adults will also be uniting together with their young ones, so that we can all have one family, one house, one loving environment, and one preferred home to stay. And that will elevate us. When Christ shall come, we will find solace in his presence. May God bless you as we end this series also. I pray that the Lord will lift you up every day, that your life will change for the best, and the life of that adult who is so domineering will change forever. God bless all of you.